calling all young people and teenagers. Today, I'm bringing a couple of buddies on to talk about how do you actually prepare as a teenager for crushing it in real estate.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
Listen up, teenagers. School is in session, but hands down, the coolest school you've ever been to. Listen, we got so many young people on this channel wanting to know, oh my gosh, my parents say I'm too young, my friends say I'm too young, the world says I'm too young, but you want to be out there doing real estate. Today's video is dedicated to you, and I brought two of my young buddies on that got started when they were crazy young like me. But truth be told, I didn't get started in real estate when I was a teenager.
Neither did I. I was gonna say, this video feels like it's all about like what I wish I had done.
I know.
As a teenager.
I was 22 years old. I was so freaking old when I got started,
We
man.
meet these kids from YouTube and I'm like, you've got such a good head on your
Dude, it's
shoulders.
awesome.
You are getting a launch pad of a start, whereas I didn't start thinking about this stuff
Let's take a
well
step
into
back.
my 20s.
We talked about a very powerful principle on the channel before about compounding interest.
Yeah.
You know what the difference is between getting started when you're 18 versus 28 versus 38? Let me tell you.
It's huge.
Millions of dollars.
Dude, it is millions of dollars of difference when you get started young. So listen, today what we're gonna do is in this short video, first of all, congratulations for clicking and watching. What we're gonna do here on today's video is we're going to give you the most powerful advice for what you do when you're young, because what you do when you're not buying real estate matters when it's time to actually buy. So let's get started with just some ground floor advice.
The first thing, and I know it's not sexy, and I know it's not like, woohoo, that's awesome, but it's education.
Oh, that is sexy. What are you talking about, dude? That is like the sexiest thing that I've actually heard. Serious, these people are watching, they're all over the world and finding this and getting my books and reading. They're like, I'm ready to do real estate now. Dude, it is
So I guess
sexy
we
to
should
educate.
say, get the right education
Sure.
right now.
We're not, guys, you're not going to get this knowledge in college. You're not going to get this knowledge from
For
professors.
some reason in school, they just are very afraid to talk about personal finance
And
the power of
personal
investing.
development.
Yeah, they're very afraid to talk about these things because
They don't have it figured out. Are you kidding?
yeah,
Teachers are some of the worst paid people on the planet. What are they going to do? That'd be purely hypocritical to have our educational system teach on money.
Let's not throw them under the bus.
No, they're wonderful people. They're a huge part of society for other
You can't
people.
lead where you're not going.
Right.
If you want to learn about how to be successful, you got to learn from people who are 10x beyond where you want to be.
Boom, I like the way you said that right there, Kris, because my very first mentor, he had made $10 million and lost $10 million and then remade $10 million. And I remember telling a buddy about that, and they're like, why would you want to learn from that guy? He went bankrupt. I'm like, exactly. He can teach me how he made it, and then he can teach me what not to do.
What not to do.
You want to learn from people that are out there doing it, which is why, by the way, if you're a subscriber and you're subscribed on this channel, and if you haven't ring that bell, this is a place where you go to get that education.
Right, YouTube is
I
a
also wanna-
phenomenal tool.
Education is awesome, but I also want to ask something that may be a little offensive.
Let's ruffle some feathers.
Yes.
Boom. Yes.
Now, I got to ask you right now, as a teenager, why do you want to do real estate? Because if the answer is because you don't want to work, get out right now.
Dude, that was harsh. That
There's
was
a
harsh
time
right
and
there.
place. If you want to be successful in real estate, step one is you got to be willing to do the dirty work. Step one is, let's just be honest, there are some firm things in place that if you want to be an investor, you need. Guess what you need? 2 years work history if you want to go finance credit on your own. On your own dime.
Well, let's talk about credit real quick, if I can jump in, because that's another thing. I can't believe that I graduated high school without knowing some of these things. I can't
know,
believe
it's wild.
that they send young
Never
people
once.
into the world and they don't even talk about it. And then I'm like, well, really, it's probably the parents to blame as well for not teaching kids, because parents
But
tend
can
to
you blame
not talk
parents if
about
they don't
money.
even know it either? I mean, guys, the
Right.
reality
It's-
is
it's a
it's the
perpetuating
blind
thing.
leading the blind. You got to
But
find a way to
for
break
example,
that.
at what point do you start building credit? You think if your parents hand you a credit card today and you're 16, are you building credit?
Nope, you're building, or more likely, destroying your parents' credit. You want to build your credit, it starts at 18.
Starts at 18.
There are cheaper ways and there are more expensive ways. Let me tell you the more expensive ways. Buying a car.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tell you a cheaper way. Get a single credit card, very low balance, and what you're doing is just proving that you can use it and pay
Paying it off over and over again.
Okay, if you're running a balance, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, let's get super clear here. What is credit? Credit is a tool used to determine whether or not you can borrow money and pay it back.
Yeah.
That is what credit
And
is.
dude, listen, people abuse it all the time. They're going and buying stuff that they can't afford, or they're buying stuff wanting to advance themselves, things that they can't buy yet, but in the future will be able to maybe afford. And they're trying to have it all today. So by the way, I'm still reeling in my mind from your comment earlier about like, get out. The reality is we're giving you a list of things that's some work here, and don't be one of the millennials that's like, I want everything for nothing. Be one of those millennials that says, wait a second, I'm known for having done so much more than everyone else because I was smart. Now, we're not saying work harder. We are saying work smarter, and work is the underlying word there.
It's what, that story, the little red hen. It's delayed gratification. It's work now so that later.
What's that story? Did a wolf come in and eat the hen or something?
No, the hen
is this the sky is falling?
Every day, she's growing wheat.
Harvest weed every day?
The other farmers,
What's happening
the
right
other
now?
animals on the farm don't want to help because they just. And then when she makes the bread,
I've never heard this one.
you've never heard the little red. Go check it out. YouTube it. The little red hen.
The little
I'll
red
show
hen,
you.
guys. Be the little red hen, but the biggest rooster in the house.
We touched on that. So finding a way to build revolving credit is important, and first that can start on your 18th
Thank you for
birthday.
keeping us focused, Kris.
Back. So the other thing they need to know is, in addition to revolving credit, they need what's called installment credit. I'll tell you right now, there are cheap ways of doing it and expensive ways of doing it. Buying a car, if you walk in, the sales rep, the wonderful car salesman says, you need to build your credit. Here's some Mustang. Get off the lot.
Yeah.
There are ways to do fully collateralized loans at 2% or 3% interest versus what you're paying on that car. On a balance, size doesn't matter. The way I did it is I went into my local credit union and I did what I called the world's dumbest loan. I'm going to give you $500, so you can give me $500, so I can pay you back $20 a month and get my $500 back. It was the dumbest thing in the world, but it built the same type of credit, the same type of installment.
So you're saying this is smart?
Yeah. It looks on paper stupid. What it does is it proves to the bank that I know how to make a set amount per month on a monthly payment. And all the banks are going, have you established the habits of life to make me want to lend you money?
So check it out, guys. We've given you 2 pieces of advice. I'm about to drop the third. The first one is there's going to be some work ethic here when it comes to education. You want to be educating. Watch my videos every single day and learn from someone that has done not 10x, but 1,000x. And the second thing is get your credit established. Here's number 3. Dude, I did not choose to buy a luxury item for the first 4.5 years that I started on my journey. My first 5 years essentially was all about save, save, save. So rule number 3 is PYF. Pay yourself first. You're not getting a job to pay your bills. You're getting a job to have leftover money that you can invest so that when you've had the period of time where you've worked hard, there's a period of time when you don't have to work. That's really what this is about. This is about empowering you with options that you're not going to have unless you freaking get smart. And if your parents aren't rich, if the people around you aren't rich, you can't take advice from them. So yes, educate, yes, get your credit. But number 3 is that when you get a job, here's your goal. Save as much of that and pinch it because you're going to put it in an investment and then your money's going to work for you. And then instead of you working hard, now your money's going to start working hard for you.
Let me piggyback on that for a sec. The power of my 20s, looking back in my investing life, I got started when I was 23. I had an extra decade because in my early 20s, I saved up enough for my first investment property.
Yes.
And that single 18K at the beginning that I was able to invest, that is the seed capital that set me for the rest of my life. The truth is, in your 20s, it's a magical time of life.
Dude, let's just get crazy for a moment. I know you don't want to share this, but I'm going to put you on the spot and then you're going to feel like you have to. I remember at one of our recent events this last year, you had a good day. You had just sold one of your properties and you got a really massive proceeds check.
Yes, I did.
How big was it?
115K.
Boom, he said it on camera. Dude, $115,000. What'd you do with it?
It's a clapper.
Bought 2 more properties.
Dude, bought 2 more properties.
Here's
Wait,
the
you
thing.
didn't go buy a Lambo?
There'll come a time for that. But you know what? You know what I
He's a
owe
Metallica
that
guy.
one-
Is he a Lambo guy? I don't
Do you know what
know.
I owe that 115K to?
We know he's a hog guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I owe that 115K to?
What?
The 18K I saved when I was 22.
Right.
Because that 18K turned into
And that was just on one deal.
that was one deal. But
That
that
is the
one
beauty
deal
of real
is what
estate
does it.
is the money never goes away. It's just like the house is a piggy bank and you just put it in it. And if you sell at the right time, you get it all
And in your
back.
20s, you're making so many cool decisions, what you want to do with your life, how you're going to exchange, because you will, your time for your money in the beginning.
Yep.
But let me tell you this. You talked earlier about paying yourself first.
Yeah.
Imagine for a sec, you guys at home, you wake up, you're 20, you begin working hard, you begin busting A. Now you fall asleep, because everyone does in their 20s, and you wake up when you're 30, and you've got nothing to show for it. You just flushed a freaking decade. That's what happens if you don't pay yourself
Most
first.
people are good at flushing decades. Listen, guys, you've gotten some great advice here today. For you young teenagers, I want you to understand something. You can also buy a home as a teenager. You can get a parent involved watching this channel. And here's the last piece of advice that I want to give you. Books have a lot to teach you. Click the link, get one of them from me. Videos have a lot to teach you. Subscribe, watch them every day. But here's the most powerful thing that you can do. The most powerful, we save for last, is that you need to cultivate a mindset unlike anyone else on the planet. You want to develop an emotional fitness, a financial mind, and the ability to break through any limitations so that you go beyond working smarter, not harder, doing more than anyone from prior generations has ever done before. The best way to do that is with something we call proximity. Get proximity to me, come to one of my events with all of my experts, my whole team that's there, and if you click the link below, you're gonna find out when my next event is, and you're thinking, but Kris, I got school. Yes, and this is a more important school. But Kris, I'm too young. You're definitely not. But Kris, a ticket costs a few $100 or whatever it is. It's one of the best investments you will ever make. In fact, bring your parents, bring your friends. We have young people coming out to our events all the time, and what it does is it changes your trajectory. In other words, go seek out the real education you need for what you want. Because if you're saying, I want to invest, then you got to get hip to hip, buddy to buddy, belly to belly, and any of the other metaphors, see the whites of my eyes. You got to get physical with the people, get in their airspace that are actually doing real estate. So you make it a goal. I'm coming to the next event. And if it's during school, skip school, play hooky, and come get superior school. I did say that, parents.
The last thing I wanted to say is the thing about getting your mindset straight. Even if you're young and you have this fear that I'm too young to do this. If you start taking yourself seriously and start being disciplined and start showing initiative, I promise your parents, your friends, your aunts and uncles, they will all suddenly be like, you're maturing. And then when you come to them with these crazy ideas of I want to buy real estate, they'll be like, well, you have matured a lot and really it's just getting your mindset right.
Let me tell you a quick story about my partnership, my first one. I have an aunt and uncle who saw me going on my real estate journey. Awesome people. My aunt pulled me aside one day and said, Kris, I love you. You're more responsible with money than my husband is. Here's a check for $50K. Go do real estate.
Wow, dude, what's up? How old were you at the time?
I was 23.
23 years old. Oh my gosh.
That is awesome. That's what you want. You want somebody to come to you and be like, you're more responsible than my husband.
I love
Here's
that.
our money.
I love that, dude. Listen, guys, you've been fed today, hopefully with some great advice. Just know this. We see you. You're out there, and we believe in you. We know that you're the future of crushing it, and nothing will make us happier than seeing you absolutely on your journey, crushing it. Understand this final thing. Whether you're learning about real estate in preparation, whether you're saving money in preparation, or you're actually buying your first house, they're all the same important. Every one of them. It's not the moment you buy a house. The moment you decide you're going to be an investor is one of the most important moments when you start your journey. So get to a live event, read the books, watch the videos, develop your credit, take the advice that you got here, and trust me, you decide right now you will be that multimillionaire. Just give it time, and it's going to happen. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Guys, thank you so much for being on. Appreciate you guys. Listen, subscribe, ring that bell. Make sure you click the link, come to one of the events, or get a free copy of my book or a free consultation. Listen, you may not be a teenager. You might be older, wishing you were a teenager, saying, I wish I could go back when. But the reality is you're here today, and there's something you can do about it now. So click the link, take your action steps, and we will see you on tomorrow's next video.